Hey guys, welcome back to the X-Ring. On today's episode, we've got some really cool bolt guns here. Everything from the Tikka T3X TAC A1 to a Remington PRC, or PCR actually, which is the Remington Precision Chassis Rifle. So this has never been fired. This is actually getting ready to get its first rounds through it. MSRP is about $1,750 or so. It is outfitted with the JP cantilever mount, and it has the Vortex Razor HD 4.5 to 27 with the EBR 2C reticle. This is chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor. A little bit more about the rifle. These are known to be tack drivers. This does have a muzzle brake on it. It does have the 18 by 1 because it is more of a European rifle. Tikka is owned by Beretta, so very interested in seeing how this groups. It does have a folding stock for it. It has a very smooth action. On the Remington, I actually did a video that I haven't posted yet. This is the Remington PCR, and there was not a bad review whatsoever on the Remington PCR. This actually has a 5R barrel, which has a 20 minute of angle base. It uses the Magpul Gen 3 stock. It also has the Magpul grip, so any Magpul grip will fit on this. It uses the Magpul AICS magazines, and it comes with a 5-round mag. Now, one of the things that I didn't like about it was this handguard. It is nice that it is a chassis system. Guys, the chassis system enables you to not have to worry about any type of swelling of wood or anything like that. You've got metal-to-metal contact with your lugs. But, you know, Remington purchased AAC years ago, and they're using this handguard here, which uses what they call the square drop. And I'm not a big fan of that because you can't use M-LOK with it. You can use key mod, but the key mod will work, but it doesn't really lock in. So you're kind of left with this, okay, AAC square drop, but then you can't find any online. They're all sold out everywhere, and that's just one of those things. You buy a rifle, you want to shoot it, you want to put a bipod on it, and there's no way to attach it. So what we ended up doing was buying a Harris bipod conversion, a little adapter. It was a number 5. And we had to do a little bit of drilling and get a little creative with it, not on the rifle itself, but on the actual mount, and we're able to get the Harris bipod on there. So one takeaway from that. Now, other than that, this is a stock rifle, but we had a Timney trigger laying around. We adjusted this to about 2.5 pounds, and this is one of the tightest groups I've ever shot in my life was with this rifle. Now, you're talking about something that's sub $1,000, and you're comparing it to something that's $1,700, you know, $7,000. And this thing is one of the tightest rifles I've ever shot in my life. I mean, it was a .14 group. I'll show you guys that here in just a second. Now, his scope, he didn't know what to get, so I had one laying around, and this is the primary arms, the Silverline, basically the 4-16 with the R-grid reticle. This thing went 1 for 1 from 300, 500 to 700 yards, so really impressed with this setup. We did throw an old school Thunder Beast muzzle brake on it, just to mitigate some of the jumping and all that. So what we're going to do is we're going to shoot all 3 of these today. We have some hand loads. We're going to chronograph it. Just a standard. We're using H4350 under a Hornady 147 ELD match bullet, and we're just using 41 grains of that charge. Nothing special. Of course, we did our normal prep on the once fired brass, just using Hornady brass, and we'll see what we come up with. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the X-Ring channel.
All right, guys, so we have Rick here with Is Your 6 Covered. We have Sam with Trunk Monkey Reviews, and then, of course, X-Ring. So what we're going to do is the Tikka was just purchased by Rick.
Yep.
The Remington PCR was purchased by Sam, and then you guys know I'm going to shoot the AI. What we're shooting are hand loads. These are some hand loads I just threw together. They're 147 grade. I think I mentioned that before. We're going to all shoot the same ammunition. Shooter's choice. You can go from the bench or you can go from the mat there, but we're going to shoot 3-round groups. Whoever's got the tightest group, or what the heck, we'll go 4-round group, and we'll start with Rick first on the left. Okay, I'll go first. Doesn't matter. So Rick will go first with the Tikka on the left target. I have a camera down range. We'll see what kind of group he gets. Then it will be me and then Sam. So we'll go Rick, Ray, Sam, just like this. And we'll look at 4-shot groups using the hand loads. Stay tuned. All right, Rick, any words of advice?
Shoot straight.
What's your game plan?
But first I need to see if I can...
You're going to have to elevate your bipod.
Yep, that's the first thing.
Guys, this is a really good looking rifle. These are heralded to actually be able to shoot some really tight groups. I don't know if they give a sub MOA guarantee. I believe they do, just like the Remington. So he's got 4 rounds. Guys, we're not looking for who hits the pasty, but the tightest 4-shot group. So once Rick is ready, we will get him going. Stay tuned.
Yeah, cold bore shot was a hair low, but the group was all touching.
Nice. Good job.
All right, we got a 4-shot challenge here, 6.5 Creedmoor. And Ray's gonna be shooting his famous AI, so. Any words of advice, Ray?
Load the bipod, pull into the shoulders. Control your breathing. That's about all I can say. I don't have a pasty.
Did it fall off?
Yeah.
Aim for the holes. Was that good advice or what?
Yeah, so the other thing is if you guys noticed on Rick's, every time he worked the bolt, he took his head off the spot or the cheek weld. That's something you don't want to do when you're trying to shoot for groups. Your best groups are typically going to be on a mat, and try not to offset your body this way. You really want to get in right behind the gun. Just think about getting the bore in line through your spine, through your butt, so that everything's straight. Try not to move your head. Think about your breathing. That's about as tight a group as I can get with this. I really don't have anything to measure it off of because there's no pasty, but we'll measure the group itself. All right, so we have Sam on the Remington PCR Thunder Beast old school muzzle brake, square drop handguard, Harris, bipod, the primary arms 4 to 16 with the R grid reticle, Magpul Gen 3 stock Timney trigger, aluminum chassis on a Remington 700 Action. Any words of advice before you go, Sam?
Yeah, when X-Ring says, let's see who can shoot the tightest group, you know it's going to be bad before you ever start.
Oh, whatever.
I agree.
Yeah, Sam can shoot some tight groups. Notice that form, no head movement. All right, I couldn't see through the lens. How good was it?
I'm kind of ashamed of it.
It's all right. All right, so I've completely forgot
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah, Sam won't mind me telling. Sam actually had open heart surgery, like literally open cavity heart surgery, not even a month ago, right? And we didn't think about the prone position and that putting pressure on his chest. His sternum is still healing up. So, you know, like I said, I've got a group that I shot with that rifle using the same stuff. I'll post that up here. But his group's not bad, but I don't think it's indicative of what the rifle's capable of at all. So we're walking the 100 yards. Rick, anything? You happy
first
with
off,
that Tikka?
Yeah, I just need some more time behind it, but it's shooting great.
Awesome. Sam?
I'm happy with the rifle. X-ring shot it. I shot, what'd you say the dimension was?
A .14.
Yeah, it was
1.4.
ridiculous.
So as far as the rifle goes, I'm really impressed with it.
All right, let's check it out. All right, guys, so there is the Tikka from Rick there. That's not bad. That was his cold bore shot and then 3 touching. That's actually 4 shots with the Accuracy International that I shot. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this pasty out of the hole so you guys can see that. We'll try to get a measurement, and there's Sam's PCR. So still not bad, but like I said, that's really more just because it was uncomfortable for him. Good shooting. All right, guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot each one of these rifles, give you my evaluation of them, how it feels. Like I said, I've shot this PCR before. I shot it yesterday, and it did jump a little bit. That's why I put the muzzle brake on there. It was an old one, gave it to Sam, and that should help tame a lot of the jump when you fire it. I'm sure the Timney trigger made a huge difference. So let's see what we can get with it. 3-shot group. Okay, that's dead center punch in the pasty. Same hole. Oh, target board's moving, and I just came off the stock, so I'm sure this third shot's going to be terrible, but yeah, it shifted like 6 inches, so. The muzzle brake, even though that's not a 3-chamber or anything, tamed this thing a ton, and this trigger is unbelievable. The X-Mark trigger, the X-Mark Pro trigger that comes with this, I'm not a big fan of it because it is adjustable, but by the time you adjust it, now you have a screw touching your finger. We did torque the action down to 50 inch-pounds. I called Remington yesterday because they said in this chassis, there's not a lot of information about it. They said 48 to 52 inch-pounds is sufficient for the front and rear lugs. So yeah, I'm excited with this. Guys, think about it. This entire package, if you had to buy the scope, everything else, you're looking at sub $1,500. And actually, it's a whole lot sub than that because this scope is only $289. So yeah, bang for the buck. This is going to be a tough one to beat. We'll check these groups out and you'll see what I'm talking about. Next up, the Tikka T3X A1. All right, next up, the Tikka T3X A1. This comes with you can get 5 or 10 round magazines. It's a double stack, but it feeds off the top like that in the center. I have not shot this, so because I haven't shot it, I don't know what the trigger feels like. So I am going to go ahead and dry fire it once or twice. Just kind of what we call snapping in. It's a 2-stage trigger. Action's very smooth. Yeah, it feels good. All right, here we go, going hot. And guys, the knob on the left is not called a focus knob. It is a parallax error adjuster. So a parallax focus, if you will. You can always check by moving your head left, right, up, and down. If your reticle chases it, you have parallax error. Here we go. It's a little high right. I blew the pasty off, so I don't have an aiming spot. That's it. It's not a bad group at all. It's definitely sub MOA, but once my pasty was gone, I kind of didn't have a place to go. So let's go check it out. Guys, hope you enjoyed that review of these 3 fine precision rifles. Like I said, it varied from price point all the way down to about $1,300 to about $10,000 to about $5,000. So, you know, with the Tikka, you know, you've got about a $2,000+ optic. It depends on what you're looking for. I don't know if you guys just kind of saw the results there, and it's always going to come down to the shooter. But I've had unbelievable results with this PCR. The Tikka shot really well for me. You know, these are all 3 great shooters. You don't need to spend the big money to get the tight groups. It all comes down to the fundamentals. One thing I do want to mention is I am going to start teaching some precision rifle courses in North Carolina. The first date is February the 29th. We haven't made it public yet. I will give you more information on that later. That class is already full. We've capped that at 12 students. But basically it's intermediate precision rifle out to 700 yards. I will post more information on that and who I've paired up with to do those events. Like, share, and subscribe. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good day.